Officially after tonight, all game twos of round one NHL Stanley Cup playoffs have ended. The first one I want to talk about is the Bruins Capitals. Now, this series has been good so far. Both games have gone into overtime. The Bruins took game two after the Capitals took game one, so let's get into it. This game was in Washington, D.C. First goal was by Jake DeBrusk. Pretty nice goal for him. TJ Oshie, however, tied up the game for the Washington Capitals. Really nice goal. Washington, they're a very fun team to watch. Obviously, Oshie and Ovechkin are a really great tandem. Patrice Bergeron, however, put the Bruins in front halfway through the first period. So already, 3 goals in the first period, giving Boston the lead. However, the fourth goal of the first period would come from Garnett Hathaway, and it would tie the game up at 2 for Washington, tying it up, which is really, interesting. And, obviously they wouldn't be scoring for a little bit longer. There'd be no scoring in the second period. However, Garnett Hathaway would actually give the Capitals the lead with his second goal of the night. Definitely really an interesting, way for them to take the lead. However, they wouldn't win this game as Taylor Hall tied up the game with just 2 minutes left. And obviously him coming over from Buffalo, he's been pretty, important in this lineup for Boston. And Brad Marchand scored just 40 seconds into overtime for Boston. So they got the win 4-3 in overtime. That was the first game. The next game was the Islanders-Penguins. Obviously, the Islanders took the first game in overtime, but the Penguins took a 2-1 win. And the Penguins would score their only 2 goals in the first period, but that's all they would need to win this game. Brian Rust scored the first goal 4 minutes into the first period. Pretty good goal for him. Put Pittsburgh in front 1-0. Jeff Carter got a goal about 7 minutes left in the first period. So those were their 2 goals. New York would score 1 goal, but it wouldn't be for a little bit longer. 5 minutes left in the second. Josh Bailey scored, making it 2-1, and there'd be no more scoring as there'd be good goaltending for the rest of the game. Pittsburgh held on and got the 2-1 victory. The next game was the Tampa Bay Lightning Panthers game. This game was in South Florida, so the Panthers were the home team. Obviously, like I mentioned before, it's a little bit confusing, Florida versus Tampa Bay, but Florida lost again. So the Tampa Bay Lightning took a 2-0 series lead. First goal came from Steven Stamkos, the captain, 1-0. This was 15 minutes left in the first period. Good goal for Stamkos. Then Andrej Palat scored for Tampa Bay once again. 5 minutes left in the first, so they got a pretty commanding lead, starting the game off. That's what they need. Andrei Vasilevsky played pretty well. However, Mason Marchment scored 5 minutes left in the second for Florida, made it 2-1. There'd be no scoring for a little bit longer. However, Yanni Gourde would extend the Tampa Bay lead with an empty net with about a minute left in the third, giving Tampa Bay the Lightning, they won, and it was a really good win for them. So they took a commanding 2-0 series lead, and obviously confidence for them. Vegas Golden Knights wild game. The Vegas Golden Knights won 3-1 in Las Vegas. Marc-Andre Fleury put up a really good game. Obviously, there'd be no scoring in the first period. However, Matthew Dumba got the first goal, and it was for Minnesota, actually. They took a 1-0 lead. Fleury just couldn't get to it, but Vegas would tie the game up with the Jonathan Marchessault goal 7 minutes left in the second period. And Alex Tuch would actually give Vegas the lead with 2 minutes left in the second period. So they got that commanding lead. Cam Talbot played pretty good, but not as good as his Game 1 performance. Marc-Andre Fleury did good too. Alex Tuch got his second goal of the game, 52 seconds left. It wasn't an empty net, actually, but they scored on Cam Talbot, and the Golden Knights won, it was actually tied 1-1. The Carolina Hurricanes Predators game, the Hurricanes shut the Preds out 3-0 in Carolina to take a 2-0 series lead. Obviously, the Hurricanes, they're one of my favorites to win the Cup. Sebastian Aho scored a goal with 11 minutes and 57 seconds left in the first. Really nice goal for him. Obviously, they have a very good offense, so that was good for them. There'd be no more goals in the first period. However, Alex Nedeljkovic, I can't really say that name that well, got a really good save for, he was in net for Carolina. He got some really good saves. So there'd actually be no more scoring in that period. And actually, Sebastian Aho would get another goal with an empty net to give Carolina that 2-0 lead. And Warren Foegele scored once again for Carolina, giving them that 3-0 victory, and they held on and took the nice win. The next game would be the Colorado Avalanche Blues game, game 2. The Avs won 6-3, dominating win, probably expected by most. But Jonas Donskoy scored just less than a minute into the first period, giving Colorado that 1-0 lead. And Nathan MacKinnon scored with just 2 minutes left in the first, giving them that 2-0 lead heading into the first intermission. Donskoy scored his second goal of the game, making it 3-0 just early into the second period for Colorado, giving them that 3-0 lead. So yeah, then Sammy Blaise, however, scored for the Blues, putting them on the board 3-1 at that point. We head into the second intermission. Braden Shen scored for the Blues and made it 2-3. So this game gets a lot more interesting. However, Colorado, they played really well at the end of this game. Nathan MacKinnon got another goal, 4-2 Colorado. Mike Hoffman, however, responded for the Blues. They did not want to quit in this game. However, the Colorado Avalanche just played like the better team. Brandon Saad made it 5-3, and Nathan MacKinnon finished the game off. I mean, he's incredible. So getting the hat trick for him, and getting that nice 6-3 win for the Avs. So the next game was the Winnipeg Jets Oilers, and the Winnipeg Jets took a 2-0 lead. I'm liking the Jets. They're just a team I kind of root for because they're the underdogs, and they're just a new team, which I think is kind of funny, considering the fact that they were defunct and now they're real again. So 1-0 victory over the Edmonton Oilers, taking a 2-0 lead. Yeah, so they're actually, limited scoring in this game. No goals in the first period, no goals in the second period, so a thriller all the way to the end. And the only goal came in overtime from Paul Stastny, 5 minutes into overtime, beating the Oilers, and, just a good win for Winnipeg. I'm liking the way they're playing right now. The final game, too, was the Canadiens versus the Leafs. The Leafs, bounced back from that loss. I think most people expect them to win the series, even though they did lose that first one. However, Montreal did get the first goal of the game. Jesperi Kotkaniemi got the first goal for Montreal, putting them up 1-0. That was 8 minutes into the first. But that would be that there wouldn't be any really more scoring for them. That was they didn't really play well with the rest of the game in terms of their offense. But that was a pretty good goal. Jason Spezza got a goal for Toronto, tying the game up at 1. Carey Price played good in the second up until Austin Matthews scored his first goal of the postseason. Obviously a great player. Rasmus Sandin scored to make it 3-1, and it was all Maple Leafs from this point on. William Nylander scored for them 4-1 at this point. Alexander Kerfoot 5-1, and they ended up getting the 5-1 victory. So that was all the game twos, guys. Tried to make it quick so I could just go through all the games. Obviously, other games have happened, like game 3s and game 4s, but I am planning to make those after every single one ends. So that should be interesting. Let me know your thoughts on these games if you're a fan of any of these teams. And yeah, thanks for watching.